Valentine's Day just passed. Did he do anything romantic for you?
I got a card. Valentine's Day is something special, right? I have to read this to you. Happy Valentine's Day, Belinda. You're the reason I live. Well, you, oxygen, water, oh yeah, Sega, and maybe on the PlayStation.
If you were a gamer during the 1990s, you understand how important this particular game system was. And there was one particular reason why this game system was really important. And you're going to hear it here.
Wait, but mostly you.
But why even put me? Why put me in the same? Why put me in the same sentence as the PlayStation and the Sega?
I don't think she should get upset when she stripped for him because Mortal Kombat just came out, and that's like, that's the
No.
That's a new game that just came out. Everybody's, that's a big thing right there.
Clearly, the arcade graphics in the upper left are sharper than the Sega graphics on the bottom right. But in the 1990s, the home gaming console got closer to the arcade experience. That meant girlfriends had to step their game up.
Today, women are here to find out why their men are obsessed with playing video games. Gets under my skin, I can't tell you. Our first guest, Belinda, says that her husband's obsession with video games is destroying their marriage. She says she has tried everything to get him to stop, and today she's going to give him an ultimatum. It's either her and the kids or the video games. Now, Belinda, tell me about your husband's obsession, because a lot of women might not know what it's like to have this particular problem.
Many men lament dating in the Instagram and dating app era, but the first technology shoe to drop in dating was not against the men, it was against women in the 90s. It was here that women realized
we have a new enemy.
One time, this is really bad. I stripped in front of my husband. Stripped in front of the TV as he was playing the video game, and he had the audacity to tell me, move. Get out! Move! Move! That's what he told me. Move out the way. I was like, all right, okay, honey. I did everything I could. This Valentine's Day.
When you say strip, you were getting down and naked, and he told you to move?
Head to toe. Head to toe. Head to toe.
Bad.
It's awful. It's
How did
awful.
that make you feel when he did that?
I was mad. And I still stood in front of TV, and he told me move, because Mortal Kombat had just came out. And that was like the game everybody was talking about. Mortal Kombat,
Johnny Cage.
At a time in the 90s when Street Fighter II was the de facto mano-a-mano fighting game, the introduction of this beast of an arcade game in Mortal Kombat sent shockwaves through every neighborhood within biking distance of an arcade. Midway did a peculiar thing in changing the button setup that was normal to anyone that had played Street Fighter II from going from 6 buttons to 5. And the legend of this quarter-swallowing game that was taboo for kids to play was born. But there was just one problem when you got the game home. It looked like this. When Mortal Kombat was made available for home gaming systems, it literally changed the game. However, in the 1990s, there was a great amount of concern about the violence in video games. So for kids who brought home their copies of Mortal Kombat for the Super Nintendo or the Sega Genesis, their fatalities unfortunately look like this. There is a noticeable difference, something missing from the arcade experience. Then Sega, with a masterstroke of genius, did this. It can be argued that this code, ABACABB, launched a movement. For the first time in gaming history, the quote-unquote violent arcade game experience was widely available to young boys and boys at heart at home. What did this mean? It meant that after hours and hours of gaming, from day until the streetlights came on, boys could enjoy this experience with each other without leaving their homes and going to the arcade. With this game, many of us could go hours without even the slightest mention or thought of girls. Maybe it's here where the movement was actually born.
What about me? I wanted attention and he did not, no matter what I did. I turned the lights down, put a red light inside the socket. I put on some Keith Sweat. That still didn't do nothing because he was still.
Now, when you say he's playing hours at a time, how many hours might he spend playing this game?
Well, he gets home from work by like 2:45. I get home from work about 6 o'clock. He's still on the video games. I go to bed about 9, and he ain't there with me.
What can be seen here for the first time for many people on Afternoon Talk Television is a woman not competing against other women for her man's attention, but her competing against video games for her man's attention. And what's interesting is with the introduction of him is that he says something that resonates with the crowd right off the bat, even though he's introduced to booze.
Well, Belinda, you want to give him an ultimatum today? Let's see what Eric has to say. Eric, come on out here. Now, Eric, you know it's a trap, don't you? You know when you buy the PlayStation or all these other video games and they don't give you the good controller in the box, it's extra. You know that's the trap, don't you?
I worked hard for that income tax money. I worked for it. They took it from my check. At the end of the year, it was mine. I gave her money to get a car, and I bought what I wanted.
Wait a second. Wait a second here. Now, y'all ladies know EIC, Earned Income Credit, is children. Who provides the children? Us ladies. So that part of the money goes to us.
And just like any talk show from the 90s, of course you're going to have someone that says this.
Well, I think she should get upset because he should take care of what he has to do. Take care of the bedroom first before anything else. Take care of that, take care of it.
And of course you got your Save the Community talk.
Eric, no one is saying you can't have your fun and everything, but your wife and your children have got to come first, because when a new game is in, she'll still be by your side and those kids will still need a father. First things first, we have to take back our community.
You have to admit, you are spending an awful lot of time playing these video games.
I'm not out in the streets.
Yes.
I work every day of the week. Sometimes 12 hours every day.
Okay.
So I feel that's my outlet. That's what I'm going to do.
That's fine.
I'm with my kids when I am home. I'm with my kids. She's at work.
But I'm saying, aren't you taking it a little bit far? You don't think you are?
Nope. Not at all.
And then, of course, we got our healthy dose of, you know.
Well, I think as many of the audience members here have indicated, the issue really isn't the video game. It's the fact that there's something that's distracting these men from their women, and they're using it in order to avoid the marital problems that they have. The thing that's really struck me is the level of self-absorption that these guys have. I mean, the behavior that they're displaying borders on the I mean, they're using their joystick instead of their left hand.
What's really interesting is if you go back to the 90s and listen to some of the rhetoric that was playing on regular normal television, while people were worried about Mortal Kombat codes on Segas and Nintendos, it would absolutely blow your mind. Stuff like this.
We only have a minute.
Well, I think that no obsession is totally innocuous if it's hurting the relationship, and whether you guys are hurting or not, your women are. And I think that certainly in terms of the ones here who are neglecting their children, I think the children are better off without a father rather than one who's spending, who's prioritizing a video game over the children.
That may be a little hard.
You can see the 90s were a wild time because on the one end, you had people that were overly concerned with young kids playing games that had certain animations that they deemed too violent. But on the other end, you had people casually saying if the father is overly invested in video games, the kids would be better off without him, even though he goes to work and he comes home and does family stuff. This is an interesting time because in the 90s, many of us understood that games had gotten so good that they could take our minds off of girls, not just for a little bit, but for hours at a time, to the point where we wouldn't even think about women. And this was a first for many of us. What Mortal Kombat taught us, even on a subconscious level, is that our attention was valuable. And many times when we were playing all with our friends and the phone would ring and the girlfriend saying, when are you coming back home? And your friend saying, give me a few more minutes. And a few minutes turn into a few more hours. And then it turns into a fight. And the guy is smiling the whole time because he's enjoying himself. It let us know that yes, women now have a new competitor for men's attention, and it changed the game. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, guys.